Eric blindsided, Ivy can't stop and secrets helical out of control. The bold and the beautiful spoilers for the coming 3 weeks, March 2nd to March 20th, reveal that Eric Forrester may face a treason while Ivy Forrester just wouldn't be suitable to quit her manipulation tactics. Secrets will also take center stage and pave the way for some out-of-control drama. So let's bandy what's ahead on BNB. The week of March 2nd to 6th will bring Hope Logan Spencer and Steffi Forrester Finnegan's coming battle about whether Taylor Hayes belongs with Deacon Sharp. Speaking of Deacon, he'll go into fantasy mode during his bedroom rollick with Sheila Sharp, so he'll imagine Taylor is there with him rather. Sheila will feel like Taylor's remedy sessions are the reason for her renewed spark with Cleric, so she'll be full of gratefulness. In reality, Cleric will just be stewing for Taylor and allowing about her rather of the woman he married. After Deacon admits that to Taylor latterly, they'll make out again and maybe realize avoiding temptation isn't going to be an option presently. As for Melissa Dillon, she'll find Will Spencer rather infectious as well. Dillon will enjoy a kiss with Will too, but there's a chance it might involve some featuring originally. Still, it won't be long until Dillon most likely confesses her passions for Will. B&B suckers will see Dillon open her heart to Will with some major exposures, so this could lead to him rebounding with her despite his Electra Forrester despair. Will's eventually going to fill Steffi in on some news that she didn't see coming. Will might be the one to warn Steffi to his bifurcation with Electra, but it's also possible he'll advertise his Forrester abdication. Next, Ivy will keep manipulating Electra's love life, and stopgap she can move her to see RJ Forrester as a path forward. Ivy will hope that RJ can make Electra forget all about Will, but Electra would be furious if she knew about her aunt's deception. Of course, Daphne Rose knows about Ivy stealing Electra's letter and setting up all the desolation she's dealing with now. Daphne may pound over that secret during the week March 9th to 13th and wonder if she should come clean. At some point, Daphne might unmask the sap to Carter Walton and get his studies on what happened. As for Eric, he may get blindsided if Katie Logan Spencer goes on with Bill Spencer's idea and agrees they should keep Eric's designs. That could launch further fierce face-offs and ultimately leave Katie wondering if all this trouble is really worth it. Katie and Brooke Logan Forrester's relationship is in a terrible state that's only going to get worse if Katie continues down this road. The week of March 16th to 20th may eventually bring some reservations for Sheila if Taylor and Deacon are still going behind her reverse by also. Could Sheila realize Deacon keeps fading on her and decide to follow him at some point? Over with Will and Dillon, they may toast effects up while Electra starts authentically opening her heart to RJ. Ivy has created a love quadrangle that's going to come a agony once the verity about her manipulation inescapably comes out. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say plenitude further romantic complications are in the workshop, so stay tuned. Over the coming 3 explosive weeks on The Bold and the Beautiful, the emotional temperature in Los Angeles rises to a boiling point as backstabbings, secret affairs and reckless manipulation collide in ways that hang to permanently alter the lives of the Forrester, Logan and Spencer families. At the center of it all stands Eric Forrester, the formerly imperturbable primogenitor of the fashion dynasty, who may soon find himself blindsided in a way he no way anticipated. For decades, Eric has survived commercial accomplishments, romantic backstabbings and family insurrections. Yet this time the blow could strike nearer to home than ever ahead. As whispers spread that Katie Logan Spencer may align herself with Bill Spencer's ruthless strategy regarding Eric's designs, the possibility of deception begins to impend large. Eric has poured his heart into his rearmost collection, viewing it not simply as a professional bid, but as a reaffirmation of his creative heritage. Should Katie agree to keep those designs under Bill's influence rather than icing they remain securely within the Forrester fold, Eric could interpret the move as a profound particular treason. The emotional consequences would resonate through the halls of Forrester Creations, kindling fierce competitions and continuing old injuries between the Logans and Forresters. Meanwhile, Katie's simulated bond with Brooke Logan Forrester teeters on the edge of collapse. Brooke, formerly exasperated by Katie's amenability to entertain Bill's schemes, may see this as the ultimate act of disloyalty. Their sisterhood, formerly unbreakable despite romantic battles and commercial battles, pitfalls fracturing beyond form if Katie chooses ambition or strategy over family consanity. While Eric grapples with brewing treason, romantic chaos unfolds away. Hope Logan Spencer and Steffi Forrester Finnegan find themselves formerly again locked in ideological combat, this time over the complicated triangle involving Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp. Hope believes in redemption and alternate chances, frequently extending empathy where others would withhold it, while Steffi remains fiercely defensive of her mama Taylor's emotional well-being. The question of whether Taylor truly belongs with Cleric becomes the spark that ignites yet another battle between the two women. Each carries times of resentment, layered grievances, and undetermined competition. As their argument intensifies, it becomes clear that this is about further than Taylor's romantic future. It's about heritage, fidelity, and the perpetual hall of war between the Logan and Forrester clans. Cleric himself complicates matters further by deeply ironic fashion. During an intimate moment with his woman, Sheila Sharp, he drifts into fantasy, imagining Taylor in Sheila's place. The cerebral counteraccusations are stunning. Sheila, induced that Taylor's remedial guidance has ever rejuvenated her connection with Cleric, feels gratefulness toward the very woman who intentionally occupies Deacon's studies. In reality, Deacon's heart betrays him. He confesses to Taylor that she has been on his mind indeed in the most private moments, and that concession leads to a stolen kiss charged with craving and peril. Both face the pitfall of crossing that line, yet the glamorous pull between them intensifies rather than diminishes. Avoiding temptation no longer seems doable, especially as their covert hassles grow bolder. As secrets swirl around Deacon, Sheila's instincts may ultimately awaken. Sheila has no way been unconscious for long, and subtle shifts in Deacon's jest, his unexplained absences, his distracted address, could plant seeds of dubitation. Should Sheila decide to follow him or probe his whereabouts, the performing discovery would be disastrous. The explosive fallout from Sheila literacy that Deacon has been rejuvenating passion with Taylor would not simply be emotional, it could come dangerously unpredictable. Sheila's history proves that treason energies her darkest impulses, and the bare possibility of losing Cleric to Taylor might push her toward drastic measures. The brewing trouble of exposure hangs like a storm pall over Taylor and Deacon's fragile reunion. Away, the youngish generation becomes entangled in Ivy Forrester's grim manipulation. Ivy, unfit to relinquish control, continues orchestrating a romantic chess game involving Electra Forrester, Will Spencer, R.J. Forrester, and Melissa Dillon. Her hindrance began with commodity as deceptively simple as stealing a sincere letter intended to clarify feelings and mend misconstructions. By removing that letter from the equation, Ivy touched off a chain response of heartache and confusion. Will, devastated by what he perceives as rejection from Electra, drifts toward Dillon. Dillon, who has long harbored passions for Will, finds herself unfit to repel the occasion to step into the emotional vacuum. Their connection deepens snappily, beginning maybe with a kiss born of participated vulnerability, but evolving into genuine affection. Dillon eventually opens her heart, confessing feelings she has concealed for months. Will, wounded and hankering for comfort, may accept her love as a retreat from his despair over Electra. Yet the foundation of their budding love rests on misinformation, and the verity about Ivy's sabotage threatens to shatter everything. Electra, meanwhile, begins tentatively opening her heart to R.J. Forrester. R.J. offers immutability and understanding, rates that appeal to Electra as she struggles to reuse her bifurcation with Will. Ivy encourages this shift, presenting R.J. as the sensible, forward-looking choice. Yet Electra's trust in her aunt could deteriorate incontinently if she discovers the depth of Ivy's dishonesty. The situation becomes indeed more precarious because Daphne Rose knows the verity. Daphne is apprehensive that Ivy interdicted the letter and finagled the misreading. Burdened by guilt, Daphne debates whether to expose Ivy's scheme. Her heart may drive her to entrust in Carter Walton, seeking guidance on whether revealing the secret is the moral path forward. Carter, ever the voice of reason, would probably emphasize the significance of honesty, advising that secrets of this magnitude inescapably explode with lesser damage the longer they remain buried. Daphne's decision could determine whether the love quadrangle implodes sooner rather than laterally. Will's coming move adds another subcast of unpredictability. He prepares to partake surprising news with Steffi, maybe about his sanctioned split from Electra or indeed a bold abdication from Forrester Creations. Such a abdication would gesture his desire to part himself from a company now intertwined with painful recollections. Steffi, fiercely pious to her family's heritage, might interpret Will's departure as both a particular and professional loss. Her response could impact commercial dynamics, particularly if Eric is contemporaneously scuffling with treason regarding his designs. The crossroad of romantic fermentation and business strategy creates an unpredictable terrain where emotional opinions carry fiscal consequences. As the weeks progress toward mid-March, every plot elevation closer to eruption. Katie faces mounting pressure from Brooke, who questions her provocations and loyalty. However, she risks alienating her family permanently if Katie persists in supporting Bill's strategy. Eric, seeing treason but maybe not yet knowing its source, may defy those around him with wounded pride. His vulnerability would be especially poignant given his lifelong commitment to family continuity and cultural integrity. Watching Eric struggle with the possibility that those he trusts most could undermine him adds gravitas to the unfolding drama. Contemporaneously, the romantic snares among the youngish characters grow decreasingly complicated. Dylan and Will's chemistry intensifies, yet Merc loiter. Electra's connection with RJ blossoms under Ivy's vigilant eye, but authenticity remains questionable because it has been nurtured through deception. Ivy herself becomes the mastermind of chaos, unfit to stop manipulating indeed as the web tightens around her. She convinces herself that she's acting in Electra's stylish interest, yet her conduct reveals a deeper need for control and influence. When the Verity eventually shells and cleaner pieces, history guarantees that it will. The counter-reaction against Ivy could be nippy and enduring. By the week of March 16th to 20th, dubitation and pressure reach critical mass. Sheila's implicit discovery of Deacon and Taylor's secret meetings threatens explosive battle. Katie's alliance opinions could alienate Brooke and devastate Eric. Daphne's moral dilemma hovers at a breaking point. And within the love quadrangle, shifting commitment promise heartache. The narrative instigation builds toward ineluctable exposures that will leave no relationship untouched. In classic Bold and the Beautiful fashion, love and contest intertwine, commercial ambition clashes with particular fidelity, and secrets mold until they erupt in spectacular fashion. As each character confronts the consequences of desire, deception, and divided constancy, observers are reminded that in this world, passion infrequently remains contained and formerly secrets helical out of control. The fallout reshapes fates ever. As the pressure intensifies across Los Angeles on the Bold and the Beautiful, the emotional fallout from every secret, fantasy, and treason begins to ripple outward in ways no bone can completely control. What originally sounded like insulated romantic complications now evolve into a multi-layered storm affecting family patrimonies, commercial conglomerates, and lifelong bonds. The coming days prove that no decision exists in a vacuum. Every rumored concession, every stolen kiss, every withheld verity carries consequences that stretch far beyond the moment. Eric Forrester finds himself standing at a crossroads that feels hauntingly familiar yet sorrowfully new. For decades, Eric has faced boardroom revolutions and romantic bouleversement with measured quality. But this time the trouble strikes at the heart of his identity, not just as a primogenitor, but as an artist. His newest collection represents adaptability, evidence that indeed after health scares and withdrawal debates, his creative spark burns undiminished. When word reaches him that there may be internal debate about the running of his designs, particularly if Katie Logan Spencer sides with Bill Spencer's strategic maneuvering, Eric feels the sting of mistrustfulness creep in. The idea that someone within his extended circle might treat his work as a log-rolling chip, rather than a sacred heritage, cuts deeply. Katie's internal conflict becomes more pronounced with each passing day. On one hand, she understands Bill's instinct for advised power plays. She knows how the Spencer conglomerate operates: bold moves, high stakes, little room for saccharinity. On the other hand, she recognizes what Eric represents not simply to the fashion world, but to her own family's integrated history with the Forresters. Brooke Logan Forrester wastes no time defying her family. Their discussion begins as a debate about business ethics, but snappily deteriorates into a broader reckoning about fidelity. Brooke accuses Katie of losing sight of what truly matters, of allowing Bill's influence to cloud her judgment. Katie fires back that Brooke has always been quick to judge while standing on innocently nebulous ground herself. Old resentments resurface, once romantic battles, once backstabbings, making it clear that this disagreement isn't solely about fashion designs. It's about times of undetermined pressure eventually boiling over. Meanwhile, Hope Logan Spencer and Steffi Forrester Finnegan reignite their ideological contest in a new arena. Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp's complicated connection. Hope believes that people can evolve, that redemption stories earn space to unfold. She sees Deacon's hankering for Taylor as substantiation of emotional growth, a man seeking to reach for commodity more stable and meaningful. Steffi still views the situation through the lens of protectiveness. Taylor has endured heartache after heartache, frequently involving men unfit to completely commit. Steffi refuses to watch her mama step into another potentially ruinous trap. Their battle crackles with intensity. Steffi questions whether Hope's sanguinity is naivete disguised as compassion. Hope counters that Steffi's dubitation may stem from fear rather than wisdom. The exchange leaves both women shaken, apprehensive that they're formerly again on opposing sides of a deeply particular issue. At the center of that storm stands Deacon, whose internal conflict grows heavier by the hour. His fantasy about Taylor during an intimate moment with Sheila Sharp lingers in his mind long after the hassle ends. Guilt gnaws at him. Sheila remains blissfully induced that Taylor's remedy sessions have revivified her marriage, expressing gratefulness toward the very woman Deacon cannot stop allowing about. The irony becomes nearly unsupportable. When Deacon eventually confesses to Taylor that she occupies his studies, indeed in moments meant for his woman, the admission opens a door neither of them can fluently close. Their kiss, conditional at first, evolves into commodity more hopeless. They both admit the peril. Sheila's history casts a long shadow, and neither Taylor nor Deacon underestimates the implicit consequences of crossing her. Yet their participated vulnerability feels intoxicating. Each stolen moment convinces them that maybe fate is pushing them together, anyhow of the pitfalls. Sheila, perceptive in her own unsettling way, begins noticing subtle changes. Deacon's distracted aspect, his habit of checking his phone and stepping outdoors to take calls, the faint emotional distance creeping into their exchanges, though she originally attributes it to stress, dubitation, gradationally takes root. Sheila has reinvented herself numerous times, but her core instincts remain sharp. She starts asking gentle questions, too gentle maybe, watching Deacon's responses nearly. When his answers feel rehearsed, her mistrustfulness deepens. The possibility of treason ignites a dangerous flicker in her eyes. However, to follow Cleric or defy Taylor directly, the results could be explosive beyond imagination, if Sheila decides to probe. Across city, Ivy Forrester continues weaving her intricate web, induced that she alone sees the bigger picture. To her, steering Electra Forrester toward R.J. Forrester and down from Will Spencer is an act of protection. She rationalizes the stolen letter as a necessary intervention. After all, if Electra and Will were meant to be, wouldn't they overcome a minor misreading? Ivy tells herself that she's simply accelerating an ineluctable outgrowth. Yet beneath that vindication lies a deeper verity. Ivy craves influence. She wants to shape events, to prove her significance within a family that frequently sidelines her. Electra remains ignorant of the manipulation shaping her romantic line. Her heart takeover Will feels raw and authentic. She renewals their last exchanges, searching for suggestions she might have missed. RJ offers comfort with quiet sincerity. He listens without judgment, shares stories of his own struggles, and assures Electra that occasionally connections deteriorate not because of lack of love, but because of timing. Their connection grows organically, at least from Electra's perspective. She begins to see RJ not as an answer, but as a steady presence who understands the weight of family prospects. Ivy watches with conservative satisfaction, believing her plan is unfolding impeccably. Will, meanwhile, finds unanticipated solace in Melissa Dillon. Their kiss, originally fueled by participated vulnerability, awakens passions neither can ignore. Dillon has long admired Will's intensity and fidelity. Seeing him wounded softens her heart, and she resolves to be the support he needs. When she confesses her deeper passions, the moment carries both tender-heartedness and threat. Will hesitates, apprehensive that moving forward could mean closing the door on Electra permanently. Yet the comfort Dillon provides feels real. In her presence, he doesn't have to pretend strength. He can suffer, vent, and sluggishly rebuild. The pressure escalates when Will prepares to partake significant news with Steffi. Whether it's evidence of his bifurcation or his abdication from Forrester Creations, the advertisement catches her off guard. Steffi values Will's benefactions and sees implicit in his leadership. His departure, emotional or professional, signals insecurity at a time when the company can least go it. However, the commercial atmosphere becomes charged with anxiety if Eric is contemporaneously scuffling with dubieties about his design security. Meetings grow tense. Tales circulate. Workers smell that the leadership circle is fractured. Daphne Rose's heart grows heavier each day. She knows that Ivy's hindrance catalyzed this chain response. Watching Elektra cautiously embrace RJ, while Will moves near to Dylan fills Daphne with guilt. She confides in Carter Walton, seeking clarity. Carter listens hardly, his expression grave.